FM, Friday Sports Show. Your host, Petruzzi, in New Area and around the world. And today we have a very fascinating guest who's going to give us a bit of an insight into, it's that sort of time of year where parents begin to worry. I suppose some parents worry as children start secondary school. That can be daunting. We've all been there a long time ago for me, but I do remember it well, starting secondary school. So we've got parenting expert and author Sue Atkins is going to give us a bit of insight into some research. So Sue, welcome to the show. Great to have you on board.
Oh, so it's very interesting, isn't it? This topic around starting secondary school. Kids and parents start worrying, don't they?
Absolutely, Sue. Absolutely. And what are some sort of Can you give us a bit of a background into the study as well? I mean, if you give our listeners some of the background into the study, please, Sue.
Yeah, the research by Life 360 is really quite interesting. They did a poll of 1,000 UK parents of children aged between 9 and 16, and it revealed 30 main anxieties that mums and dads share with their children just before they start secondary school. And 66% of parents were worried about their kids starting, and almost more than half of them were anxious about their child being less safe than they were at primary school.
And just on that, Sue, what are some of the top worries that what are some of the main worries that parents have when their children start secondary school?
Well, one of them is, are they going to keep safe because they're on buses and trains for the first time on their own? Will they get lost? If there's an emergency, what will they do? They worry about bullying and will they make friends and how they'll settle in. They worry about homework expectations and time management of that because, they get homework assignments that don't have to be handed in exactly the next day anymore, but they've got to plan their time around their social activities and their sport and, their dance and music and things. So there's quite a lot of things that they worry about. Parents particularly, children are individual in what they worry about, but the important thing here is to try and help them manage all those anxieties and worries, not feed them and make them really fearful of starting secondary school. It's about empowering them so that they enjoy going to secondary school.
And just on that, Sue, what are some are you able to sort of share any sort of tips that parents can have to maybe alleviate or manage those worries?
Yeah, one of the key ones I think that's quite simple is that, if you're worried about them getting on the bus or the train and you worry they might get lost or you worry there's an emergency, you can use the Life 360 location sharing tool, which helps, give you peace of mind as a parent, but it also, helps the children feel that they've got this newfound sense of freedom when they're starting secondary school. And then if you talk with them about helping them manage their homework or helping them make new friends by smiling and, getting involved in some of the social activities or joining some clubs so that they can learn to play rugby or chess or whatever they're interested in, then the whole process becomes sort of more exciting. Life is about handling change, and change can be scary, but it can also be exciting. So if parents are positive and cheerful and happy, then the kids will relax a bit more, and very, very soon they'll enjoy all the new activities. Everything will become normal to them, and their new routines will, they'll settle into them easily.
So I'm sort of guessing, Sue, that there's, for parents, there's apprehension as they're about to start secondary school and begin. I know it might be outside the scope of the sort of research, but the people generally sort of start to sort of settle down, the anxieties become more manageable, as you mentioned there, that generally if the children start to settle in, make friends.
I think like anything in life, if it's new, you kind of worry about it because you don't know what to expect. So, over time and a short period of time, kids do relax into all of that sort of thing. And if you're interested in some tips around handling the transition, I've written some on my website, which is thesueatkins.com. And if you're interested in perhaps looking at a location sharing app, look at life360.com because they'll have loads of things there to help reassure you.
That's really interesting, the location sharing. Are you able to sort of tell us a bit more about that? So just out of interest in terms of like what the actual app does and And so does it my understanding is it gives you the location of where the child is.
Yes, I mean, they provide parents with a real sense of security because they give them peace of mind that you are monitoring where they are in real time. I think that's what's important. And, in emergency situations, you know where they are so you can, go and help and sort it out. And also kids quite like it because it gives them that sense of freedom. They feel that they can start off with confidence, It's a balance. It's like everything. There are some issues around making sure that, you do eventually incrementally let your children go and trust them to, get on a bus and get on a train by themselves. But it does give you, it was started actually because of Hurricane Katrina and people trying to find each other and connect with each other. So, it's a really good location app for sorting that out and helping parents feel relaxed around it. You've got, peace of mind, as I said, and you've got the kind of communication that keeps backwards and forwards because kids are sometimes notorious for not saying they've arrived at school safely or they're on their way home or they're staying late to play rugby or whatever it might be. So that gives parents that reassurance, So yes, I think using them is a very helpful tool beginning at secondary. It really does give parents that peace of mind.
No, absolutely. I've come across apps before, location ones where, for example, walking, going for walks and that sort of stuff in the countryside. But I haven't sort of come across it. But it sounds really interesting. Really, since technology sort of, the benefits of technology, it can no doubt help to manage that sort of anxiety. But I suppose on the other side of things as well. So I know outside the scope, but of the conversation. But sometimes the anxiety. For me, it's like if you look at the media, sometimes you sort of hear, and obviously they have to report things, but I suppose there's so many things that are sort of going on in the world. Do you think that sort of adds that extra layer of anxiety? Like if we sort of watch TV and see and hear about sort of these things happening, and I know obviously they are in the minority, and there's there are millions of people around the world, billions, and but do you think that kind of compounds anxiety? That sort of constant sort of when we sort of see what all these things that go on in the world.
I do actually, because when I was growing up, we didn't have 24/7 TV, and if you had the news on a loop, you're bound to hear it over and over again, and it's reinforcing your anxiety. When the reason it's on TV is because it's very unusual, but. Parents need to be mindful of how much news they watch and where they get their information around that. Because I think you're right, it can feed into that fearful frenzy rather than get it into balance, where most children go to school and nothing happens to them. So yeah, be mindful of how much you watch the news and for how long.
Absolutely, it's just getting that balance for sure. And definitely, I'll definitely check out the app myself as well, to be fair. But thanks for your time. So it's been really interesting and informative. No doubt the listeners have found it interesting and informative. So thanks for coming on board and sort of sharing some insights. And I know you gave the details, but just to sort of confirm, if anyone's looking to have a look at the app, can you signpost them where to go to find it?
Yeah, sure. You just go to live360.com and it'll be there.
Brilliant. Thanks, Sue. Thanks for your time.
Take care.
Bye-bye.